Hey, Millionaire Car Salesman. This is L.A. Williams, the blind master, and I apologize about the first 10 and a half minutes or so of this podcast. The audio is a little jacked up, but it was so valuable, I had to still include it. So check this out. I think y'all going to really enjoy this. Autoweb. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams. Sponsored by Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, we've got one of the #1 sales trainers, and I don't care what. Listen, I'll be #2 when it comes to this guy. This guy is absolutely amazing. It taught me the business before he even knew I existed. I always tell this story about how when I first entered into our industry, Sean gave me a CD. He said, memorize it, right? And I just listened to this guy over and over and over again. This is a dream come true for me to have him on a podcast that I essentially created along with my main man, Sean V. Bradley, CSP, the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. You guys are checking us out right now live on Facebook, or you're listening to us in your favorite podcast app. So without further ado, I want to bring to the microphone the amazing Mr. Damian Boudreaux. What's up, Damian?
What's up, Damian?
What a great introduction. That's got to be my best.
Nah, real recognizes real, man. We respect the craft, the dedication, the passion, and your contribution to the industry. So what's up, man? How you feeling today?
I'm happy. Life is good. I love what we're doing right now.
Okay, good. So, LA, I'm going to let you lead off just because I know you were excited. Matter of fact, Damian, you ever watch, I love telling this story. You ever watch Eddie Murphy and the Klumps? You ever see that?
Oh my God.
Yeah. You remember when he's like, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules? That was LA. When LA found out that we were going to interview you, I swear to God, he was like, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. He was super excited to go. So get some, LA. Let's do the intro. You know the flow of our show. Let's do it. Come on.
Absolutely. So, Damian, first of all, I guess let's pretend as if there are some folks out there that don't know who you are, what you represent. Everybody out there is really impressed with Ali Reda, and his #1 thing he always talks about. He says, "Man, it wasn't." Because you guys had done some coaching and things like that, and Ali even says, he said, it's not like Damian made me who I am. He just showed me who I really was. Right. And so even before we pressed record here on this podcast, you started giving advice to Sean's daughter. She'll be on in just a moment. But I mean, I was like, oh, shoot, I wish like everything out of your mouth should be recorded because it's just that daggone powerful. But how is someone like that even created? Can we like, where did you even start, man? I don't know. I don't know your backstory or anything like that. Can you share that with people?
Yeah, I started off sucking. I started off struggling. I started off not good. I mean, before the car business, I failed at 5 or 6 different things before the car business. And then I got in the car business to change oil, and a new owner took over, and my dad knew one of the owners, and they taught me into selling, right? And so for 3.5 years, I struggled in the car business. I had only sold 20 once in 3.5 years. So I wasn't this person who got in and I was magical and knew all the right words to say and people were coming in and so I struggled with the car business the way it's taught, the way it's done. And I had to look in my mirror of who I am a lot. This doesn't admit this doesn't feel right. What has to happen for it to be simpler? What has to happen for it to be better? What has to happen for it to be work better for me, work better for my customers? I want to be honest and in integrity with who I am, right? So I constantly had to look into the mirror to figure out what's my recipe.
Wow.
How do I do it in a way that fits my soul, right? And what a gold mine of a business, because I'm not educated. I probably couldn't have done anything else to this level of success in life. Oh my God. It was just a struggle, right? I competed against people who made me better all the time. Like across the river from me there's this guy who was just working his ass off, who outworked everybody. He worked for my Pee Wee baseball coach, Darryl Landry, but his name was Grant Cardone, and Mike Porter was a salesman that worked with Grant, and my mother-in-law was driving to see me to buy an Astro van, stopped at Grant and Lynn's dealership. Mike Porter sold my mother-in-law, my future ex-mother-in-law, as it will, a Safari, right, which was a little minivan. Right. You compete against great people, they make you better. You get to work with colleagues that are friends with your fathers in the car, they make you better, right? And so I constantly learned, but I constantly had to look in my mirror of, oh my God, that ain't you. Oh my God, how do you do that better? What is my magical recipe in the business, right? Why don't I like what they're teaching? That's how I got here. I asked questions. I never was satisfied. My next level was always what I wanted. I'm not happy with where look, LA, you're not happy with where you are. Right?
Agreed.
Sean is not happy with where he is, right? But 10 years ago, he couldn't have seen himself at this level. You couldn't see yourself at this level. All your goal is, every high achiever I work with wants one thing. They want more happiness, more joy, more success, more money, more freedom, more peace of mind. They want more. Wow. How do we get more? It's looking at us first.
Wow.
It's personal development. It's figuring out our recipe and what our magic is and our leverage is to get to another level, for the reason to get to another level. What's our why?
Yeah. That's huge. And Sean, that sounds just like a commercial you did a couple months back about a brand new business. And so it sounds like we're right on point with that. That's pretty darn exciting for that to be the case. So, man, that was fire. All right. So now that we kind of understand that, which is actually a really powerful response, because most people, they're like, I started here. But what you said was that, you started off sucking, and most people, they can relate to that. And so that's why I think that was such a beautiful answer. So you started asking questions and all of that good stuff. When was the first time that you realized, hey, wait a minute, I'm actually on to something, and what kind of gave you that key idea?
So I was stuck between 8 and 16 cars. I was on this roller coaster where some months I was almost salesman of the month, and the next month I was almost fired, right? And so you have this roller coaster. At one point I just said, I quit, I'm done. And I had a manager who said, you can't quit, you're too good. You're good at this. People love you. Nobody does a walk around in Texas better than you. Wow. You have to stay in this business. I said, it's not me. It doesn't fit. And so I quit. And he made me take a leave of absence. So I went from Houston to Lake Charles, where I grew up. I grew up in a drugstore, and I watched my dad and my Uncle Jerry my whole life love and care for people coming in the store. They talked from their hearts, right? They were simple. Everybody came in that drugstore and knew me from when I was 6 years old. Everybody knew mom, and everybody knew dad. And it was like, oh my God, the business is people. And I had been trained to wait on the next step, to sell somebody on liking me, trusting me, and believing in me. And I hated trying to convince everybody I didn't kill a kid the night before. And so I just want you to like me. And if you already like me, you'll already buy from me. And so I just said, you know what? I'm just going to wait on people who know me. And I'm going to talk from my heart. I don't need to sound like the people who are good at this business. I just need to sound like I'm a backwoods idiot from Louisiana with no education. And people who know me love me. And I started reaching out to them, and I called every one of them. I talked about their favorite subject. And that month that I came back and went to work, it was in December, right? December, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to talk to people I know me. That month, I sold 63 cars. I went from never breaking 20 to selling 63. And every one of the 63 all knew me. They all drove from Louisiana and brought me food and gave me a hug and picked out the truck. They didn't have to buy the truck. They could buy whatever they wanted.
Damian, let me jump in on a couple of things here. That's because huge, LA was like really excited when he introed you. I don't think he really gave the details. And you just alluded to one of them. You are an advanced high performance automotive sales professional. And you are one of the most unique trainers because we talked about this. Like I work with large dealer groups, dealerships, and some salespeople, but you've built a business to only work with high achieving sales professionals. So what is the most amount of cars that you've ever sold in 1 month yourself on the floor?
102.
Holy crap. I never knew that, Damian.
Well, I don't brag.
Yeah, see, I do brag. That's why I'm a selfish, selfless promoter. But but no, I respect it. So you sold 102 cars. Holy crap. And what's the most amount that you've made in personal income, including OEM spins in 1 month?
Oh, 50,000.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. And so obviously one of the Leviathan in the world right now in our industry is Ali Reda. And so can you just talk about, like, I know that you guys co-authored the book, which is How to Sell 100 Cars Per Month, but you are Ali's like guru, his coach, his mentor, his trainer, and not taking anything away from Ali. Ali is amazing, but like LA said, is that he was always Ali. You showed him what that actually meant and how to tap into that. You work with other high-performing automotive professionals. Can you, if you don't mind, sharing some of your triumphs or some of their victories, some other salespeople that you work with that sell 50, 60, 80, 100? This is the type of people you work with, correct?
Yeah. So really the goal isn't to get them to 70 or 80 or 100. The goal is to get them to their next level, right?
Okay.
So to do that, they have to know what their next level is. The next thing we have to teach them is their mirror. Okay. I got to get you to see yourself. And so I've got to ask you questions that make you go, ooh, how do I really think about that? And if I can get you to look in the mirror of who you are and go, wow, okay, you know what? I can do that better, right? You've heard Ali talk about the magic phone call, right? Mm-hmm. So I have what's known as magic phone calls with people who knock it out of the park 1 month. Because you can look at people and say, well, what did you do wrong? What you did wrong isn't going to be really the next level. If they did something great 1 month, my job is to bring them back into that month and say, so what were you feeling like? How did you show up? What was your energy like? What was your mindset? What's the first couple of things you did in the day? How were you talking to people? How were you listening to people? What was your track? What was your method of being on top of your business? And within those questions, there are like, you know what, Damian, I didn't even think of that. I did that. So now we can go back and build on what they did unconsciously. Great. And the goal is to create an awareness or to give a consciousness to what you're unconsciously doing. And if I can create a consciousness to what you're unconsciously doing, now you can see it and improve on it. Most high achievers, they're just going through the motions, and the next thing you know it, they're at these high numbers. But when they look in the mirror and go, oh, I didn't realize I could do that better, right? And so that's the key. All the education is built on how do I get you to be a better human? How do I get you to see you at your best? And then use what you want, your intentionality, as leverage to get there. To pay attention to your energy. Not just your physical energy. I don't have any energy in my body, but what is your spiritual energy and your emotional energy and your mindset? Mindset includes all that stuff, right? And then consistency. What are your processes? And as Ali grew, we had to change processes. We had to evolve the way things were done. We had to evolve what was done by him and then translated to his team. And so productivity is another thing we look at with these high achievers. A lot of them don't realize that they're wasting so much time. There's so many things that they're distracted by. So those are the things we do. And just getting people to the next level. If you're at 11, getting you to 14. If you're 14, getting you to 19, right? If you sold 4 cars a month more, that's about $1,600 a month more. That's $16,000, $18,000 a year more just by getting you to another level of 4. Wow. And this year I can get you to 4.
That's deep, man. Huge, man. Damian is really dropping some nuggets. So what we want to do real quick, Damian, let me take a quick break. I want to hear from a sponsor, and then we'll be right back because I know Sean has some very good questions for you. Hold on.
Auto Credit Express is the leader in subprime auto financing. For over 20 years, we have served the online consumer, working to match the best dealers with consumers who need their help securing financing. With more than 250,000 leads per month, Auto Credit Express is the authority for dealers who understand that the special finance deal generates a higher gross profit. We've worked hard to innovate our solutions, bringing you Buyer Assist to drive consumer text engagement, building out robust solutions to help the underserved Spanish-speaking community. We now deliver proof of income on our leads through our proprietary STIPS feature and are building dealer-branded social media marketing campaigns to help you, the dealers, build your brand. Contact Auto Credit Express today to learn how we can help you own your market for subprime finance. Sell more cars with higher gross profit and partner with Auto Credit Express today. Mention the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast for a special discount today.
At the very first Dealer eProcess keynote, Gino Ciparroni and Sam Vukas introduced new tools and strategies to drive conversion, new designs to increase customer engagement, and new technologies to dominate the competition. Visit dealereprocess.com/keynote to watch and see what's new in 2021.
All right, y'all. So we're back here on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And I said earlier that Sean's daughter was here, the princess, Miss Kalina Bradley. And Sean, I know you have some questions for Damian. I know you guys want to have a conversation. I want the rest of the audience to hear what Damian was saying to her before the recording. That's what I really want. But let me let you direct this, Sean.
So Damian, let me kind of just set the frame on this. Kalina just started selling cars last month. The first week she was with me in Maryland at a dealer client working on BDC, phone training, etc. Besides Dealer Synergy phone internet training, she had OEM certification training and basic road to the sale. That's it. She on her first 3 weeks, she sold 11 cars and made almost $5,000. But this is your world. I mean, you train the top people in the world. So you have a brand new client right here. We're going to do like a university hospital. So you've got a young woman that just started selling cars on the floor. Train live, buddy. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to put myself on mute.
Kalina, can you take your mask off? I need to see your face.
Before he was done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hi.
I need to see your face because your face talks louder than your words, right? So if you're uncomfortable, I need to feel that uncomfort, right? I need to hear that in your tone, if you will, if you're a tonal pause or something like that. So, by the way, congratulations on being in a car business.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm talking to everybody who's 6 months or less in the car business right now when I talk to Kalina, right? And I'm telling you that this business is a gold mine and that anything you want in life, you can get as a result of this business. And you don't have to have an education. You don't have to be smart book-wise. You don't have to need to add and subtract whole numbers. You definitely don't have to be organized or have a good handwriting. None of those are preconditions for excelling in this business. Since you're just starting, I want you to know that the most important thing that you have to do is not give up, that you're going to fail. You're going to mess up. You know that messing up is part of learning, and you're going to learn more because you get your butt kicked rather than get your butt kissed. And so you are going to mess up. So mess up often and always be willing to learn from that mess up. Don't be perfect. You're on the wrong planet for that, right? So understand you work hard. Work hard is the key. Your work ethic, and work includes two things. Number one, you got to get great at being you, Kalina. You have to get great at looking in the mirror and say, how can I improve? What else could I do? What don't I like? What do I like? What sucks? Oh my God, I hate that, right? Oh my God, I love that, right? You need to be able to wrap a bow around your gifts, and you need to be able to throw away your poop, the stuff that you don't like, right? But you need to recognize both of them. You need to work on yourself. The second thing you need to do is work. And work means talk to people. The more people you talk to, the more people you can help. Understand, 80% of the people, whatever the number is of closing ratio in your world, doesn't matter. Talk to everybody. If I'm telling a new person, if they come into my 100 car club and they say, what do you recommend? I say, I recommend that you piss off every salesman in the dealership by running under an SUV, diving under it to get to the next up. Whatever it takes to talk to as many people as possible, that's what you want to do. You want them cussing you at the end of that guy, that girl, she just won't let me get to anybody. That's the first thing. You got to work. Now, imagine an apple tree. Now, on this apple tree, there's all kind of green, unripe apples. And there's some apples that are turning red. In our industry, the dealer is going to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at this tree. And what we're hoping for is that in the tree, the apples that are starting to turn red, get ready to buy a car, fall off the tree, roll down the hill, go down the street, go to the internet, go to the telephone, or pull up in the dealership, and they pray they buy a car. Right? And you were trained to wait on those people. And they don't like you. They don't know you. They don't believe in you. They don't trust you. So you got to sell them on liking you, trusting you, believing in you, believing in the deal, believing in your job is to believe in the deal. Your manager's job is to find the deal. But you got to believe everybody can buy, because everybody can buy, right? That's the model that we do business by. What I want to sell you on is understanding that you too have an apple tree. And that is everybody who knows you. Now, you don't have to sell any of those people a car, but you must start connecting to those people, because they already know you, they already like you, and they already trust you. And when they start to get ripe, if they know what you're doing, when the apple falls off the tree, Kalina, it's going to land right in your hand. You don't close about 80% of those people, and they want you to help them. Every customer wishes they had that person that they could just fall in their hands. Thank God for Kalina. I don't have to deal with all the mess because I got her. She's so good to me.
Yes.
And you got to build a business like that. You want a business where you talk to everybody, what I call the dealer-driven opportunities. That's the gifts that your dealer gives to you to convert and help and serve and solve and heal. You got to cherish those gifts. You got to do a great job with those gifts. You got to do whatever it takes to solve their transportation needs. And you need to build relationships, maintain relationships for life. The dealer-driven opportunities, you create a personal and meaningful relationship. Not just about selling a car. Get out of the transactional selling business. That's how you build a career. I asked you a question earlier. Remember? And I said, 10 years from now, what is your life like? Who are you? So for those in the audience, I want you to know what I'm doing. So often goal setting is about what you do. And what I want goal setting to be about is who you are. So goal setting can be about extrinsic or it can be about intrinsic. If it's about who you are inside, now you can always use that leverage to accomplish something worth fighting for. Someone worth fighting for, something worth fighting against, someone worth fighting against. All of those things are intentionality of where you want to go. So 10 years from now, who are you?
Powerful. LA, powerful, right?
Absolutely, man. I'm getting coached over here.
So, Kalina, what questions do you have for someone with Damian's experience, honey?
I just want to know, I guess, how you do it without coming off as pushy. You don't have that type of energy. You seem very warm and inviting. So I guess I don't know if you can answer that, because you don't seem very pushy, but you know the stereotype. I just don't want to be that kind of person. I just want for everyone to trust me and to feel like I'm not trying to just make money off of them, that I genuinely want to help them get into a vehicle,
Yeah. You just spoke for everybody in the car business. They just want to be themselves. They just want to be real. Why didn't the manager say, "You're too nice"? How is that possible? How is it? I used to get an ass whipping for not being nice. Now I get in the car business, I'm not supposed to be nice. So who you are is important, right? That's the clarity of who you are. You're kind, you're thoughtful, you're caring, you're serving, you want to love people, right? So you have to embrace those things. You can't be something you're not, right? You have to be Kalina. The high achievers are unapologetically themselves. Sean and LA were telling me they had an interview with somebody earlier today, Grant. Let me tell you a secret about Grant. He is unapologetically Grant. He is authentic. He's the same guy from the 70s. He hasn't changed a bit. He is powerful then. He's powerful now. He had charisma then. He has charisma now. Grant is just Grant. Kalina is just Kalina. Sean is just Sean, and LA is just LA. For me to try to be your daddy, I would suck, like huge suck. And I don't get paid money to suck. I get paid money to be who I am, which is nice and kind and helpful and thoughtful and generous and amazing and charismatic and inspirational and see the gold in everyone. Those are me. And when you show up as Kalina, first you have to know who that is, right? We have an exercise we do in our program where I show you, I get you to create. This is who I am. You may or may not believe what your daddy says about you. Who gives a shit? What you care about is what you say about yourself. And most new salespeople, their voice to themselves is, I am dumb, I'm stupid, I'm slow, everybody's got bad credit, everything's a mini deal, that manager can't get shit done, this dealership doesn't like it, the grass is greener over there, oh my God, they got a shiny shovel, and you jump around because you're not looking in your mirror. You have to be you. But that means you got to create you. People protect what they create. You've got to build Kalina. And defiance is who you are now when it comes to your mom and your daddy. You are not them. You got to find the thems that you are, but you got to step into the you, right? Which is the power of what I teach. Because that's the first thing you got to know. That's the first thing high achievers have to know.
Yeah. Dang, goodness gracious. So what I hear you saying is that you got to, and Karina talks about this all the time, you got to live life by design and not by default, right? So just design the person who you are, right? Just let it come out. I'm catching what you're putting down, Damian.
Yeah. So the first pillar of high achievement in my education program is called clarity. Who are you at your best? The second pillar of high achievement is intentionality. Where are you going and why? There are times when you get to the dealership and you're stuck in an energy hole and you got to go, man, I don't even feel like being here. Oh my God, I don't even want to work today. And that means you don't have something worth fighting for. You don't have your intentionality. Early in your career, it could be just to get out of debt. It could be to, get a new house. It could be to buy the girl the ring. It could be to get new clothes. It could be to, get whatever it is your drive. You got to know that second pillar of intentionality. You got to know yours. It doesn't matter whether your daddy knows it or your manager knows it or your significant other knows it. None of that's important. It's important what you have in your soul, your heart first. And if you can own that, Now you're unstoppable for the rest of your life. Yeah,
that's good. So how do you get that to the forefront? Because, I catch myself having that energy sometimes. I heard what you just said, having that intention, but sometimes you won't be thinking about no intention. You'll be like, oh man, I ain't got, what I'm saying? So how do you keep that in the forefront? What's a great way to do that?
Yeah, that's a good place to be too, LA. That's a good place to be because it makes you look in the mirror. It makes you look in the mirror. When you get knocked down and you feel a certain way, then you go, I don't even want to feel like this. That means, okay, but I do.
Right.
So I accept it. Oh, I feel this way. So, okay, why do you feel this way? What has to happen for you to get out of feeling this way? What is your intentionality? What is the reason why to move away from that? But being okay with sometimes you're sad, or sometimes you're nervous, or sometimes you're hurt, or sometimes you don't believe in yourself, or sometimes you doubt yourself, or sometimes you have a scarcity mindset of believing you don't deserve. That's worthiness, man. That worthiness drug. That's the biggest one I fight. Yeah. They get to a certain level of success, and they hit the sabotage button in relationships, in money, in business, in health, because they don't feel worthy. They don't feel like they deserve it. And we have such a fear mindset. All this last year, it's been about, well, you ain't scared? Then people looking around the corner for the COVID. I mean, telling you walk around in fear. You're never going to be successful walking around in fear. You got to step into that shit. That's your magic. Man, being afraid is a great place to go. Well, that's not acceptable. I'm doing it.
So Damian, again, I'm enthralled. I'm just sitting here listening and taking notes, man, because I believe that you're on fire and you're accurate. But again, some of this is overwhelming. It's overwhelming to people, especially. Here's the thing that I'm not going to put this daughter on blast, but my other daughter is no longer on the dealership world anymore. And, I know this firsthand, is that there's people at the dealership that are complacent with mediocrity. They basically say, instead of studying the product knowledge videos and OEM certification, they game it, they cheat it, they get other people to take their tests for them. They basically tell, why are you doing that training stuff? You don't need that crap. And so it wears you down. So my question that I have on behalf of all new people and even veterans is, how do you go into work with that determination of knowing who you are and what you're trying to accomplish, but then deflect all the mediocre people and the haters and the people that suck the life out of you with their negative bullshit? How does somebody persevere throughout that stuff?
Let's find out right after this message.
Attention auto dealers. You need an opportunity to do business. AutoWeb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads. I mean, high quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. AutoWeb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and/or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need AutoWeb.
Don't be the last one with your hand up at the auction. VinQ Vehicle Buying Center gives dealers the digital and in-store tools you need to buy direct from the public. On average, inventory bought from the public grosses $1,200 higher on the front end alone. VinQ turns buying cars direct from the public into a business. The most profitable dealerships in the country are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in additional front-end gross. Private party acquisition starts with VinQ. See it at VinQ.com.
Yeah, well, you can't teach desire and you can't teach drive. So if you hired somebody who has no passion, no desire, or no drive, you're trying to carry dead people up a mountain to see a view. They don't want to go, and you're wasting your time. And so many managers spend all their time saying, he's got so much potential. Another challenge is the way we teach doesn't work for people. It doesn't work. Look, I write curriculum. I work in the elementary school system, right? There's 4 parts of the brain, right? And there's 4 parts of the brain. And you want all the lights to be receptive to learn. Some people learn by touching and feeling and smelling. Some people learn by hearing. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by reading. So we have to touch all the sensors and all the modalities to find the right place for them to experiment and find their magic, right? But what we don't take into consideration is there's this great big light bulb right here called the amygdala. And as soon as the amygdala light goes on, everything else shuts down. Because as soon as the amygdala goes on, I'm in fight, flight, or freeze. And when you make me wrong, if I said right now, Sean, your teaching absolutely sucks. Everything I say after this point, you can't hear because your brain is having a conversation. It doesn't suck. It works for this person. It does this. And your brain is having a conversation and my voice goes away because your brain now has to survive. It has to justify why it is better than what I just said and why you're right and I'm not. And so what we do is we put salespeople in a position where they shut down and they can't learn because we don't make it Socratic in nature, transformational in nature. If I can make the learning be here internally, intrinsically, and they're understanding that, look, so often we train to make compliant little soldiers, but we don't hire critical thinkers. We don't have people challenge us, question us. Anytime somebody says, well, that just doesn't work, we've got to prove them wrong of why our shit has been working since 1960, and there's a road to the sale, dumbass. And even though most salespeople will never remember that shit, you got to learn it. And then we teach it in a way up and down that we've never been trained to learn because we've been trained to learn left and right. And everybody who'd been learned left to right learned the ABCs. And under the letter A, there was a picture of a what, Kalina?
We all know this one. Even LA,
She's
the
got a mute
blind
on.
guy. Even the blind guy.
What was there a picture of?
An apple.
An apple.
Yeah.
LA? Kalina, was there an apple?
Yes.
It was an apple. And you're 70 years younger than that old guy. And look, y'all probably went to schools in different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. I went to school in Louisiana, and guess what there was on the wall? A damn apple. Because there's consistency in the learning. And we learn, and then everybody says, well, you can remember the alphabet. People remember things all the time. You didn't learn the alphabet. You learned a song. You learned in melody. And we don't teach in melody. The only melody is one note very loud. You're going to do this, and we're going to teach it this way, and the first step is to meet and greet, and you're going to teach it that way, and I can't believe you didn't remember that shit.
Oh, boy.
Yo, you're killing it, Damian. Let's just do this. I want to transition because I know that you have a lot of things going on today. Lee, as a new sales professional, what are some of the challenges you have other than what we talked about? I want you to ask the questions, for Damian. You're on the spot. Okay, I'll help you because when we talked, you said a couple things that is it the qualifying part when you after you meet and greet somebody and you do the initial meet and greet and you sit them down and you engage a customer worksheet. Do you have any questions about what are the best qualifying questions to ask somebody, how to build a rapport, anything like that, or you think you're good?
No, I feel confident in that. It's more so, I guess, like when we're talking numbers, since I'm new to sales, it's just I'm learning how to negotiate. I don't know how to do that very well. So my managers have been helping me, because before I would just kind of, I would show them the numbers and they're like, oh, this is too high. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I can go talk to my manager, because I didn't know what to do. But they're telling me, get more information from them, listen more, do open-ended questions, that kind of thing. So I guess if you have any more advice for that, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah. So I'm going to take you back to the first part of the sale to answer that question.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Because the first step, there's 3 steps to the sale in my world. Right. And these are the steps that Ali learned from me. Now his underlying steps evolve just like yours will. But right now I want you to be curious about the other human. Right? When you greet them in curiosity and concern. That's your energy. Greet them, and you're curious about what they're looking for, what they've done in their past. What have they done that they like? What don't they like about their car? How long have they had their car? Right? What are the things that they want on this one that they didn't have on the last one? Everything you talk about can fit around what they've done in their past, right? Which is an easy conversation. But you want to be curious because most salespeople are looking to pick out a vehicle. And I want you to not do that for just a second. What if you were asking questions to discover what I call PP? Because it's all about PP. You were looking to figure out what's the problem they currently have that they want to move away from. Mm-hmm. If you ask questions curiously about trying to figure out what is their current problem, What are the challenges? What are the obstacles? What are the reasons to move away from this vehicle? And the second thing you're looking for is what are the possibilities? What is the dream? I've always wanted that car. I've always wanted that Jeep. I've always wanted that truck. I've always wanted an SUV. I need a van now. I got children on the way. I'm 4 months. I got to have a van, right? What is the possibility? Now, if you can start thinking about PP, the problems and the possibility, now you're not selecting a vehicle. You're opening up the whole inventory to things that solve PP. The problem of the possibility. And that's why my salespeople who work with me, they are not in the vehicle selecting business. They're in the problem solving business. That's why it's not about price anymore, right? So now you're solving problems. Solving a problem is more valuable than picking a vehicle.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Man, I'm telling you, that's
so
it
that's
all
the
day.
first thing.
Yes.
And it's so crazy
Then
because
you talk numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. You're attached to them buying. I want you to not care about them buying. If they buy, good. If they don't buy, good. Do you care about people? Yes or no?
Yes.
What if you could just care and it was on them to decide to get it? You just wanted to give them everything they needed to get what was best for their family, whether that not be a vehicle or whether that get a vehicle. What if you could care that much with that pure of a clean heart and that kindness and say, you know what? I don't care if you buy. I want to give you everything. And when you tell me that we're not giving you enough for your trade, my job is to make that right for you. So what do you want for your trade and what do I have to do to get there? Because I just want to help you. And if I can't give you enough for the trade, I can't help you. But that's okay. Other dealer might be able to help you. But let's just start here first. Don't be attached to the outcome, your outcome. Be attached to their outcome.
that's it.
So now you're going from selfish to generous. And did you see how your face changed right there? Your face just changed. I mean, your color went away up here. I mean, got flushed, like you blushed a little bit. Because that's more you, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's who you have to show up as, in your generosity, in your kindness. Now you might be a hammer. You might go, I'm taking them down today. Whatever. If that's you, then you show up in that animal. But that's not you because you're going,
No, that's not me.
That's disgusting shit there.
This is
David,
great
let me
because it's
jump
so
in
crazy,
here, man,
Hold on a second,
because
Sean, because
I always have been a fan of yours. You know what I mean? From the Jerry Cousin days and everything like that.
that's why I gave him the CD.
We're always ripping and running. But this means the world to me, not just as an automotive professional, but as a father. I'm a trainer and I'm really good at what I do. But sometimes there's a mental block when it's your child or your spouse that's giving you advice. You're like, I'm not Sean Bradley to my daughter. I'm just dad. And so it's great to be able to have a different perspective from a high-level trainer. But you triggered on certain things that I'm going to say it, LA, because you haven't said it. You know what? This is real stuff, but most people don't talk about it. What you're saying to some managers, like, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. That's whack. But no, this is what our industry needs to hear, that there's more than one way of doing something. To your point, if you want to go take them down and you're like, you're in combat mode, like, Navy SEAL Team 6, or you want to just be a Care Bear and shoot people with love and appreciation, you got to find your special power. And if that's just being kind and empathetic and not being a predator, then so be it. Is that what I'm hearing from you, Damian?
Yeah, Alina's a Care Bear. That's a perfect word for her.
No, she's definitely a Care Bear.
No, look at her face. So if she showed up to work with her heart being on the outside of her outfit and she could just care for everybody, she'd wait on everybody unapologetically because she's magical at caring. Right? Am I right, Kalina?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's who you are. So the successful person in our industry will be the person that you are to yourself for others.
Yeah, I known that since he was 7 years old. You see what I'm saying? Because out of everybody, including Tiana, including Sean, including Karen, right? Whenever we would go out and it would be like the four of them, I don't even remember if Lil Sean was born or not. But whenever we would go out, the person who would walk with me the best was Kalina. Like,
And look, when you go to the grocery store, you can show up just like that. You don't have to put a mask on to go into the grocery store. You don't have to put a mask on to go to the dealership. You don't have to put a mask on to go to the children's basketball game. You just show up like you with that beautiful, beautiful smile. I mean, right now your cheeks are red. And I'm telling you, you are not like your dad at all. And both of y'all are perfect, right? You're both perfect because he's showing up in his brilliance. LA shows up in his brilliance. You show up in yours. The goal is to recognize your brilliance and give permission to be that human, which hasn't been allowed in our industry until you get to 20 and 30 and 40, 50 cars. And then you struggle because you've never been given permission to be that monster.
So I think this is huge, and I think this is what Kalina really needed to hear. And so now let's move forward, just because, again, I would steal all the time so you could personally train my daughter. I mean, again, but I don't want to take advantage here. But how do you build a business? One thing that I've heard...
Right now, you would go to sell me on your program and make me join your 100 Cars Club and and pay me all the money for it. That's what you would normally do, wouldn't you? You're a promoter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and again, I'm going to dodge that one right at the moment, like the Matrix.
He's got all the money, Kalina. We're going to be using him.
Listen, you know what? You get what you pay for. So again, I'm seeing value here, and I'm all about it. So, Damian, one thing that I love from Ali, which I believe that it's from you because I've heard it before. I met Ali, is the whole about relationship selling. Can you talk about that and how you could build solid relationships with your prospects and your clients that will turn into long-lasting relationships for life? Can you explain that whole concept?
Please, but explain it after this break.
At the very first Dealer e-Process keynote, Gino Ciparroni and Sam Vukas introduced new tools and strategies to drive conversion, new designs to increase customer engagement, and new technologies to dominate the competition. Visit dealereprocess.com/keynote to watch and see what's new in 2021.
Attention auto dealers. You need an opportunity to do business. AutoWeb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads. I mean, high quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. AutoWeb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and/or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need AutoWeb.
Yeah, so let's talk about prospects and clients, and those are crumbs. Right? Those are crumbs. That you're not going to build a successful business and scale it quickly with the repeat and referral mindset of our industry. Those are great. 8 years, 9 years, 10 years into the business. If you stay in the same spot and you're doing business the right way, you may have a good repeat and referral business. But you have to get there faster. And the way to get there faster is community. Who already knows you, and where can you go connect in your community and contribute in the community, right? And so one of the things that we teach, and one of the first things I got Ali to do was to go promote somebody's business, right? Go find somebody to promote their business. Who do you know that has a great business that you go there and you go eat there and you can tell everybody on your list, all the people that you need to go to this restaurant, man, they got the best doggone kibbe in the whole world. You got to go get it, right? And so you find a place that you can start promoting. You start going in and recognizing the cooks and the people who are waiting on you. You go in and you recognize the store owner of the place you buy your shirt. You go to your wife or your spouse's job and you bring her flowers once a month, and all the other ladies in the thing, I wish my husband brought me flowers. The first time you bring it, they'll have thought you did something wrong. But the second and third and fourth time, I guarantee you'll have a connection with everybody at your wife's office. There's all kind of ways of connecting to people in your community, and you're already there. And they're looking for somebody like you. Now, it's not to sell a car. Overnight, you're not going to build your business that way. But there will come a time when you're at the wedding, when you're at the funeral, when you're at the children's basketball game, somebody will come plop next to you and go, "You in the car business, right? Man, I tell you, I've been looking to get another truck, and I just want to know what's out there." That's a done deal. That is a done deal, that moment.
So one thing I like to say, and this is old school stuff from 20 plus years ago when I started selling cars, is every day ask somebody 3 simple questions. Are you in the market for a vehicle? It's either yes or no response. If they're not in the market for a vehicle, who do you know that's in the market for a vehicle? Why? And I know Damian, this is a little bit different philosophy, but she gives bird dogs at her dealership because we will actually pay you, for a referral if you refer somebody that winds up buying a car. I don't know anybody. Okay, what kind of car are you driving? Why? Because we buy used cars, and depending on the condition that your vehicle's in, we might be able to get you more for your vehicle than it's worth. Whatever word tracks are, in my opinion, doesn't even matter. The point is that everybody, every day that you come in contact with, in my opinion, either needs a car or will need a car or knows someone that needs a car now or knows somebody that will need a car in the future. But when you have somebody that's shy or somebody that's new, how do you get them to overcome that fear or that weirdness of I'm a car salesman and I want to be icky or pushy? How do you get them to just start to talk to people more and start talking about car sales or the automotive industry to people?
Yeah. So first of all, that for 90% of the people, that's going to come across icky or pushy, and I'll prove it to you. We have been telling, look at her shaking her head. So we've been telling people to ask for referrals, ask for referrals, ask for referrals. Bible says, ask and you shall receive. The Bible said, go ask for referrals and you're going to get the referral. But the fact is, salespeople don't ask for referrals. It doesn't even matter that Jesus said it and is pushing it. They don't ask for referrals. Why not? Because it's not who they are. Most salespeople will do more for somebody else than they'll ever do for themselves. They're generous, they're thoughtful, they're giving, and they don't feel like they have made enough emotional deposits to earn the right to beg. They picture it as begging from somebody who they barely know, or even if they know well. So they don't do it, right? But we can still hammer it. If you'll eat this shit, it'll help you gain weight, but it tastes like shit. So I don't care about gaining weight, right? It's what's based, if we did this business based on natural behavior. So for Kalina, she's not going to do it. It doesn't matter how good the words. Look, here's word tracks in our industry. I'm going to pick on it a little bit. So word tracks are like this. You learn to say word tracks from your gut, right? You got to gut up. You got to say the word tracks. We're going to put them in and we go to say the word tracks, and halfway there we go, ooh, can't go around. We have to go around the heart for that. I'm not going to use my heart for that. And they come up, and the next thing they change their vocal cords and the words come out, and it doesn't even sound like them because they didn't use their heart. So how do we get referrals without asking for them? We find a way to promote their business. You want to get referrals? Give referrals. Give is the ask. Give is the way to get. Because in that same book, the Bible, it says, give and it shall be given back. Yeah, pressed down, right? Multiplied, right? So the Bible says both ways work, but we only talked about take. We only take about get, right? But Kalina's not that way. She'll go and she'll tell everybody where she had pizza last night and brag about how great the pizza was. Oh my God, it's God's gift to pizza. Lord have mercy. They put it on there, extra sauce. Man, I thought I'd go drool. I almost bought a second one. You should go to that place. That tells the owner, I love your pizza. My Lord Jesus, that's the best pizza I ever had in my life. Can I tell all my friends about your pizza? I got 2,500 people in my database. Can I please tell them about your pizza? Don't just say, please, God, tell everybody about my pizza. And next thing you go, you got a relationship based on generosity, which fits her better. There's a lot of salespeople that can do it the way you teach. Perfect, right? But there's got to be a better connection to the personalities of the 90% of the salespeople we're asking to do things that they suck at and don't feel comfortable with.
Yo, LA, you feeling this? Crazy,
yo, man,
Damian.
Absolutely
tight.
rolling, man. Giving them super. And then this is the kind of stuff that I teach, man. It's so crazy because people tell me, I can't say that. Okay, the whole thing is you do have to be able to speak from your gut. The challenge is most of our guts are set for not success. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most of our guts have not been trained for success. So we'll, let people do stuff to us. Like, here's one of the number one things I say, Damian, is that don't say okay to things that are not okay. Right? So many times people go, okay, that's okay. You can do that. No, if it's not okay, don't let it be okay. But the challenge is, again, because we aren't trained, because we aren't used to winning. We aren't used to even thinking win-win. How do I win and the customer win? We're used to losing all the time. Then those are the things that we tell people are okay. And then it breeds that type of stuff. So what you're talking about here is, how do we put ourselves in position to where, the things that I'm saying are to help me win and help the customer win? And that's the challenge that most people have. So remember,
that needs to be the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. See, and that maybe I should ask you to speak to that. Let's say, I'm a salesperson and whatever. Let's say I could be in a BDC, whatever the case may be. And, someone says something to me that totally it's nowhere near what I want, but I'm like, okay, because I don't want to deal with confrontation, or I don't want to deal with that feeling of opposing. You see what I'm saying? Someone, can you talk a little bit about that? How do you help a person like that?
Yeah, well, that's again about looking in the mirror. That's about Kalina looking in her mirror and say, how do I get this to work for me? So we have rules of engagement, right? So I teach everybody not to be compliant soldiers, right? Be compliant soldiers to a point, but when it's not you, when you're not reflecting your heart, now you have to figure out how to get the outcome they're trying to get you to get to and be you, right?
That's it.
So Kalina, here's 3 rules of engagement that will help you with every follow-up call, with every time you meet somebody at the barbershop, the beauty parlor, every time you meet somebody. I can tell you go to barbershop, she does not go to a barbershop, y'all. So anytime you meet somebody on the lot, anytime you're challenged with what the manager said, understand the manager's outcome is good. How they're telling you to do it might not be in alignment with you. So you have to be a critical thinker. So the first question you would ask, these are the 3 rules of engagement that I've been teaching forever, right? First rule, how do I get this to work for me? What words do I use? What is the pattern? What is the inflection? What is the volume? What is the pitch and the speed? What is the heart, right? Some people speak from the heart. Some people speak from the gut. Some people speak from the throat. Some people have to think before they talk. Wherever your alignment with is, you got to start from there, right? I come from the heart. If it's not in my heart, I'm not able to say it real good. You can tell I'm lying, right? So you come from your heart, right? And so you say it. What has to happen for this to work for me? How do I say it in a way that aligns with my spirit, my values, my best self? Number 2, how do I get it to work for my client?
Yes.
Which depending on the client might be different. How do I get this to work and the customer to win as a result of me doing this? Where's the win for them, right? And number 3, it has to be in integrity. There is no such thing as an inconsequential lie. One of the first things I teach highest achievers, whatever your story you're telling right now to anybody that isn't truthful, you got to get rid of it. Because when you get to 40 cars, you can't remember that lie, and people don't care about the lie. It doesn't build value. It doesn't build credibility. And most people lie. Everybody pay attention to this. Most people lie at the beginning of a relationship because they don't feel valuable enough to meet up with that person. So they say a little white lie, they omit something to make themselves look better to somebody who doesn't care about how they look. They want them to make them look better.
Yes.
You're telling a story to increase your face value with somebody who doesn't need that. You do not need to lie. That is an ego trip. And normally, not always, but normally that happens at the front end of a relationship to make you look better, right? So those are the 3 things. How do I work for me? How does it work for the customer? How do I be honest 100%? Don't lie. Don't omit. Don't not be truthful. You can tell anything when it's about you serving them and not about you serving you. You can be generous and give it all away because most of the time they're just wanting to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Lee, this is, what do you think about this information from Damian, Kalina?
Oh, it's very helpful. I'm writing everything down.
Okay, honey. So do you have any other questions for him? I know it's a lot, but I just take advantage. This is a very, incredible opportunity to be able to learn from someone of Damian's caliber.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, so Damian, what I was going to say then is that I know it's hard when it's like, just being put on the spot and say, what are the questions you have? So again, in your opinion, let's summarize your personal experience selling cars and all the years you had coaching the highest level professionals in our industry. Give us a synopsis. What are some best practices that new hires and veterans should really know and do when they engage their career?
He will right after this.
Hundreds of dealers have switched to VinQ in 2020. For a limited time, VinQ will match any special trial offers the other guys are throwing out there. With VinQ, replace 5 systems with one solution: market pricing, inventory management, wholesale and private party acquisitions, advertising, and reconditioning. Don't miss out on the chance for better data, increased churn, and higher gross per sale. Stop competing on price alone and start competing on value with VinQ. Request a live look at VinQ.com.
Auto Credit Express is the leader in subprime auto financing. For over 20 years, we have served the online consumer, working to match the best dealers with consumers who need their help securing financing. With more than 250,000 leads per month, Auto Credit Express is the authority for dealers who understand that the special finance deal generates a higher gross profit. We've worked hard to innovate our solutions, bringing you Buyer Assist to drive consumer text engagement, building out robust solutions to help the underserved Spanish-speaking community. We now deliver proof of income on our leads through our proprietary STIPS feature and are building dealer-branded social media marketing campaigns to help you, the dealers, build your brand. Contact Auto Credit Express today to learn how we can help you own your market for subprime finance. Sell more cars with higher gross profit and partner with Auto Credit Express today. Mention the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast for a special discount today.
Yeah, so, Kalina, one of the things I was going to tell you right now is if you would make a list, have a little notebook, right? I got a notebook right there. I keep it. This notebook's a piece of paper. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before. Kind of old school, a pen and stuff like that. It's really cool, though. It works well. And so if you can write down when things don't feel comfortable, when things don't feel right, because Ali and I told Ali years ago, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Right? So you have to pay attention. So when things don't feel right, if you'll start charting what doesn't feel right, you'll become aware, again, conscious of what you're unconsciously doing, and you'll be able to put a mirror in front of it, right? And a lot of times just the awareness of what you're uncomfortable with will allow you to go, well, that's odd. I didn't even thought of that. That's cool. I could probably do that different, right? Or I could approach this different, or I could breathe different. Right? A lot of times it's just breathing, right? How you breathe into a subject, right? So your perspective of a subject, right? So that's the first thing I would recommend, right? For new people, right? For anybody really that goes on. Again, we're back to awareness, right? The next thing is productivity. A lot of salespeople are blown away when people say, yeah, I sell 50 cars a month, right? Well, how do you have time for that, right? Well, there's so much wasted time that a salesman has. It's incredible, but you have to find where you're unproductive, right? So we do something called a productivity one sheet with people where I say when they first come to work for me, I say, I want you to take for 2 or 3 days, I want you to take 15-minute increments and write down everything you did. If you went in the bathroom and sat there for 3.5 minutes, I want you to write 3.5 minutes. I want you to write down how much time you spent on Facebook, how much time you spent on this, how much time you did that, how much time you worked a deal, how much time you went on the phone, how much time you did this. And at the end of the day, you're going to go, oh my God, I've wasted so much time. Oh my God, I keep doing this over and over again. I need to maybe have somebody help me with that, because that is at 10 cars, that's productive, right? At 20 cars, that's productive. But at 30 cars a month, that is a waste of damn time. And as your business grows, as you scale your business, there's a lot of things you're doing that is not productive anymore that was in your past, right? And so being productive is about understanding where you are in that productivity, right? And then I just want you to look at the business different. I mean, we've been trained to look at the business like this, right? And I want you to open your business up and to understand that all my high achievers, most of them do it different. They're all very different, and they're not like people perceive salespeople who are supposed to be high achievers. 30 cars a month. You got to sell 30 cars a month. You got to get to 30 cars a month. You got to get angry. You got to fight. You got to work hard, right? Most of them ain't that guy. Most of them. Connie's at 60 cars a month. She's not that girl. She's not that girl. She's a grandma. She's sweet. She's kind. She'll sit down and go to your house and have dinner with you, right? She's not like anything. So the stereotypical 30-car person is not in reality with a high achiever in our industry at all. At all. I could put 100 people in front of you and maybe 2 of them have that 30-car energy mentality of grind. Most of them flow. They all work 5 days a week. They're really not allowed to work more than that if I work with you. At the beginning, now, Kalina, that's another thing. You're in a startup position, right? So you're in a startup business. You're working from can to cane all the time. You're trying to get traction in the marketplace. You're trying to figure out you. You're trying to figure out the customer. You're trying to figure out the dealership. You got to work. You got to work your ass off, right? You're a startup business. You're in incubator mode. Totally different than somebody who's been doing this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, one thing that I was blown away by is what Ali did with Carl Sueta, how he basically, added him to the team and he just immersed them in the community. Now, I know that COVID has put restrictions on there, but can you give some insider tips on how Kalina should really immerse herself in the community? She does a lot of things that are, dear to her heart and stuff like that. So I think this is a natural fit. Finding her profile, who she is, I think it is, community activity, community involvement. Can you speak on that, Damian?
Yeah, well, so first of all, with the Carlos deal, we put a lot of thought of that before he ever hired somebody. And it's his community. One of the things that was said when we first started doing this, of course he can sell a lot of cars. He's Lebanese in Dearborn, Michigan. Of course he can sell 100 cars, right? Well, now Carlos is Mexican in Dearborn. And he's selling 36 cars a month. So it has nothing to do with the fact that he's Lebanese or Mexican or Cajun or, Italian or whatever flavor you are. It doesn't matter. What does matter, Kalina, is that you have a tribe. You already have a tribe. You, in your upbringing, you live in the same city. You have an elementary school you went to. You have a high school you went to. You went to college maybe. You have friends you used to hang out with. You had certain clubs that you ran at. All of those people are already in your apple tree, darling. Those already apples. You just got to reconnect with your apples. You got to talk about their favorite subjects themselves. It's not about you. It's all about them. And you just got to reconnect with your community, wherever that is, and it doesn't matter if you live in a small community of Hilo, Hawaii, where we had salespeople selling 35, 40 cars a month connected to the community. Kona, Hawaii, Manny Sudiyamano, 30 cars a month connected to his religious community. That was his tribe. But the ability for him to insert himself more into the tribe for the benefit of the tribe, for the benefit of his community, changed everything. For me, I was in Houston, Texas, having people drive 2.5 hours from Lake Charles, Cameron, Creole, Hackberry, Sulphur, Jennings. All the people said, you got to go to Houston and see Boudreaux. His daddy owns a drugstore. Drive the, and I'm telling you, they drove 2.5 hours to see me because my tribe is more powerful than the uncertainty of going to a dealership and being taken advantage of.
Man, again,
Damian,
extremely powerful.
Fire, man. This is, by the way, Damian, this is the first time that we've done this where we've interviewed people, but it was more traditional, questions and answered. But I respect your G, brother. That means gangster. I respect your gangster to the point where I just let you I just shut up and let you do your thing, because I think that this is more valuable than just telling somebody what you do. I mean, you just shared with us your passion, your craft, and you were able to demonstrate not what you could do. You just literally just coached a young fledgling person that's going to really embark upon her automotive career. So as another automotive professional, but again, as the dad, thank you so much for dropping sick amount of information. So LA, I want to, before I close up, I want to just give you an opportunity to pick your friend here's brain a little bit and his vision and his philosophy. Any other questions you have for Damian?
Man, listen, Damian and I have a relationship, and we, text and talk all the time. And man, I'm just telling you, I think I want to just make sure I increase that, because you've just blessed me tremendously, beyond words, beyond anything that I think anyone on here could imagine, because I pay attention to the small things. I pay attention to all of the stuff that most people just plain miss. And so I'm not going to get into any details right now, but man, I'm telling you, you just been laying out like tons and tons of fire. And so now we just got to follow the light. So thank you so much for doing this, though. This is definitely been a dream come true for me.
Before you do, I got something. I'm so impressed by what happened. Here's what I want to do, Damian. I want to do this again, but I want to do this now that I understand, okay? Because I've listened to your CDs before, I've seen you speak, but again, you have my undivided attention, and I'm intrigued. I'm definitely a Damian fan. Let's plan this in a couple weeks, and I'm going to promote the hell out of it. I did this with our friend Ali, and we had like 600 people register. So offline, probably tomorrow or your earliest convenience, let's brainstorm about bullet points, descriptions. Let's do this, but like through my machine. I want to get you the audience that you deserve with your unique set of skills. So are you down to do this again, and just like promote the hell out of it, and maybe pull random people from the audience, into the Zoom and be interactive and answer questions?
They're going to have to be vulnerable, because sometimes I put them on the spot in an uncomfortable space because I see something, right? So yeah, if they're open to being vulnerable and letting me read their mind, I'd love to, because we can help a lot of people, Sean. Yeah. They deserve success. They deserve happiness. They deserve freedom. They deserve, everything in life you can get from this business. So yeah, let's have fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to.
I'm going to go on record saying this, that Damian has been true to his beliefs and to his commitment of excellence. And I would even say the word altruism. I love that word. It's rare that I get to use it, but his altruistic, perspective, he's never not answered the phone when I've called or not called me back. And anytime I ask him for help or support something, he does. And I would love, Damian, to open up these 18,000 plus members in my group to you. So with that being said, if somebody's interested to getting some more information for you or joining your Pinnacle program, as a matter of fact, there's a couple of members here, like shout out to David Rose. He's a Millionaire Car Salesman member, and he just joined your program, and he speaks very highly of you. So how can somebody get in touch with you, Damian?
So there's a couple of things. So first of all, there's the 100 Car Club.
Okay, 100 Car Club. Sorry,
100carsclub.com. If you'd like to work with Ali and I. So we have a club that we coach, and we have teaching, and we probably have 50 hours worth of content just with Ali and I, talking about a subject, right? And then we have a lot of content that help you get through your day, your moments, your deal, your life, and all kind of content in there that people are allowed. And then we work one-on-one. We work with one-on-one with a lot of people as well. And so that's the 100 Car Clubs. If you'd like to download Ali and I's gift to you, it's howtosell100cars.com. And you can read that book, and that's a gift from Ali and I. And, that's how they can get involved.
All right. So folks, I definitely recommend that if you want to do more, be more, and achieve more, and if you're selling cars on the showroom floor, you definitely need to do a couple of things. One, download the book, How to Sell 100 Cars Per Month.com. Is that correct?
How to Sell 100 Cars, How to Sell 100cars.com.
How to Sell 100cars.com. And then if you want to be in the club, it's 100carsclub.com, correct?
Yep.
All right, Damian, listen, thank you so much for your incredible amount of knowledge and your passion. That's, if somebody just said, define Damian with one word, You are one of the people I would easily use the P word for, passion. You are dripping such passion and sincerity. So thank you for blessing our industry the way that you do, my friend.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is sponsored in part by Internet Brands, Dealer E-Process, VinQ, and AutoWeb. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.